Welcome to the Bahrain International Circuit. It's 6 o'clock and qualifying is about to begin. Before the cars take to the track to start qualifying, who are you expecting to have a good session today?
Well, I certainly think Sebastian will be strong here. He really loves this circuit, and as long as he has the car performance, you can expect him to be right up there challenging for pole.
Hello there guys, and welcome back to the championship season mode with Sergio Perez. We're here for round 4 in Bahrain, the final flyaway event before the start of the European season. Apologies for the delay actually on this series. I've actually been quite ill for the past week, so I haven't been unable to record my voice unless I kept coughing or spluttering or whatever. So this is the first chance I've been fully healthy to be able to record this. Anyways, come across the line now for our first lap in Q1. We're about 1.4 seconds off the pace at the moment, but I decided to go for a second lap as well, because that was pretty much a warm-up lap and I was still getting used to the circuit itself. Bahrain is actually one of my favourite circuits on the calendar and on the Codemasters video games. As you see, we did improve there. We're about 1.1 seconds off the fastest time that was set by Lewis Hamilton, and also we used the prime tyres to try and save the set of option tyres for possibly later on in the race. Scrolling down to the bottom there, Hulkenberg very nearly got eliminated, but as you can see there, Kvyat is not having a good time once again, out in Q1, along with Alonso, the Sauber, Felipe Nasr, and the two Manor cars. So if we now cut to the start of Q2, as you can see, we strapped on once again the option tyres once again for the second part of qualifying. I know, obviously, we'll have to use these tyres at the start of the race if we do make the top 10, but once guaranteed, we ensure we actually make the top 10, and we have another good qualifying session with the Force India. We've done very well so far in this season. As you can see, we've come across the line now for our only time lap of Q2. We actually go fastest on a 1:34.5, which ended up being the fastest time in Q2, about 0.6 of a second faster than Lewis Hamilton in second place. Hulkenberg also made it in for Force India, so we've got two Force Indias in the top 10. Hopefully we can actually get a double point score for a change. As you can see there, also Ericsson made it into Q3 for the second consecutive race there. It's a good run of form for the Swedish driver. Who missed out? Both Lotuses unfortunately missed out, with both Toro Rossos and also the other McLaren Honda of Jenson Button. As we come into Q3 now, coming across the line, they've got. I think we may have a little bit of traffic in front of us, which may hinder us as the lap progresses, but hopefully it shouldn't be too bad, because it's actually one of the Mercedes that. Oh no, it's the Sauber. Actually, apologies for that. That's the Sauber of Ericsson. We actually went a bit too deep into turn 1 there, which is going to cost us a bit of time. As you can see, by the end of the lap, we've actually caught Marcus Ericsson there, so that was a bit. He kind of hindered us towards the end, but he's giving us a nice turn as we come across the start finish line. Actually, only qualify in 4th place there, about 2/10 off the pace of the Ferrari of Kimi Räikkönen, who takes his second pole position of the season, with Hamilton in second, Massa in third, Rosberg having a disappointing qualifying session down in 7th, Hulkenberg at 8th alongside him, so it's going to be a very interesting race.
Welcome to Sakir for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix. We hope you're ready for an exciting evening's action. Kimi Räikkönen is on a bit of a charge, and starting from pole position is about as good as it gets before the lights go out to start today's race.
It's certainly better for a driver to be out in front, as they're able to drive without having to contend with the dirty air and overheating caused by being sat behind another car.
So what would you have been doing overnight if you were Lewis Hamilton, to make up the time difference that he needs to make up based on yesterday's qualifying times?
He clearly has a pretty good balance in the car. He just needs to work out where he can squeeze an extra 10th or 2 to make up the difference.
Alright, here we are on the grid for today's race. As you can see, we're going to go for a very similar strategy to what we've done for the past couple of races. Once again, using a 3-stop strategy with 3 stints on the option tyres, including the start of the race, with the last stint being on the primes. Pretty sure everyone else will be doing exactly the same as us, so it's all about being able to maintain track position and being able to fight with the guys around us. Obviously, we've got Rosberg and Vettel behind us. That could possibly give us a bit of a problem, but if we can look forward rather than backwards, then we can definitely have another good race, strong race after what happened in China. Go and watch that episode if you want to find out what happened there. But it was a very good race for us overall. But we just need to continue this momentum that we've had as it's been a great start to the season for us. So without further ado, let us begin. lights out, and away we go. We've got a decent start off the line here. We could possibly make a move on both the Williams, and Raikkonen's had a shocking start from pole position as Hamilton took the lead. Then we're going up the inside of the Mercedes, and we've actually taken the lead from him, and Raikkonen's managed to get his revenge on Hamilton there. He's got himself back up into second. This is a little replay of the start. As you can see, Raikkonen having a very terrible start from arguably the clean side of the grid, because it's the pole position line and the racing line. But as you can see, he got mugged off at the start by Hamilton and also myself, but then he gets his revenge as Hamilton was forced wide by us going into turn 1. But as you can see, we're coming across the line to start lap 2. Got a pretty decent advantage over Raikkonen for the first lap, about half a second, which we actually managed to sort of maintain over the past couple of laps. Next couple of laps, as before, the past couple of races, we've pretty much been under pressure throughout the whole first stint. As you can see there, we've managed to pull out a little bit more of a gap there, about 8/10 between myself and Raikkonen. He's got to deal with Hamilton behind though, which is a bit frustrating, but also the fact that they've also both got DRS, so that we're not pulling away as fast as we would like, obviously, but it's a good gap for us. But unfortunately, there's a section of the court circuit which I do kind of mess up several times, and that's this section here, down to turn 9 and turn 10, and I completely messed that up. And look at this, Raikkonen is right on us as we come across the second DRS zone. He's now in front of us as we come up towards the braking point for turn 11. We're going to go round the outside of him, trying to hold him in position. We were able to maintain first place there, and that's actually left Raikkonen into the clutches of Hamilton. As you can see, at the start of the next lap, Hamilton actually uses the DRS to overtake the Ferrari and take second place. So now he is the major threat to us as we have a minor lock-up going into turn 1. As we cut to the end of lap 6, it's actually a pit stop lap. As you can see, we're struggling a little bit of these tyres, and Hamilton's managed to reel the gap in considerably compared to what Raikkonen was able to do. He's now going to try and go around the outside into the final corner, but we're able to hold it on. We pick up a massive lock-up though, and we were very lucky to not lose position there. And a little bit further behind us, Vettel's actually able to get past his teammate Raikkonen. So Vettel's now in third, with Raikkonen in fourth, with Hamilton just ahead in second as we come into the pits for our first pit stop of the day. Raikkonen also comes in as well, so we should be able to maintain position ahead of him because of the gap between us two. But anything can happen. Let's hope we don't get held.
Exit now. You'll be racing as you leave the pits.
So it looks like it's a very clean pit stop. We're going to we should maintain our position after everyone has pitted. Let's see how far down the field we actually drop. But as you can see, as we exit out of the pits, there is a lot of cars entering into turn 1. So we've come out in quite a bit of traffic here. So we're going to have to make our way past this if we're going to have any chance of retaining the lead, because of the fact that both Hamilton and Vettel will have clear track and one extra lap. As you can see, we managed to get past Kvyat into turn 1, and now we're going to try and go round the outside of the Sauber of Felipe Nasr going through the chicane as we head towards the end of the second sector. We're going to come up the inside of Max Verstappen now into the next corner, and up next on the list is his teammate Carlos Sainz. We come into the turn 9 and turn 10 complex. You see he gets a massive lockup going to turn 10, so that's compromised him on entry onto the back straight on the second DRS zone. As you can see, we're using the DRS to full effect. We're going up the inside into turn 11, up into 6th place now as we come towards the end of the lap. We've now cut to the final straight before the final corner. We're right behind the Lotus of Romain Grosjean, as it looks like we're going to take 5th place relatively easily up the inside into the final corner. Understood wide a little bit there, but we were able to hold it, and we're up another position. And meanwhile, earlier on, Vettel has closed right up to the back of Hamilton prior to their pit stop, so this could be another pit stop race between Mercedes and Ferrari to see who comes out on top and who's possibly going to be second by the end of the first round of pit stops. Let's see what happens here. And as you can see, Hamilton got a little bit held by the Williams there. That's probably going to cost him a track position there with Vettel. As you can see, Vettel was released pretty much straight away compared with Mercedes. As you can see, he is now ahead of Hamilton. As we cut back to our point of view, we're actually going past both Vettel and Hamilton that are just coming out of the pits right now as we come into turn 1. We do turn in a bit too early there, and we actually compromise our entrance into the corner, and now we are up into second place. As you can see here, Carlos Sainz is once again providing some great help for us, holding up the Ferraris and also the the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton there. As you can see, Vettel goes up the inside of the Toro Rosso there, and meanwhile behind, Hamilton goes up the inside of Kvyat, as Ricciardo still hasn't made his pit stop yet, and he was much further up the field. And then Hamilton, a couple of corners later, then makes light work of the young Spaniard in the Toro Rosso into the final corner to move up another position. And as you can see, we cut to the end of lap number 8. We actually set the fastest lap of the race with Ricciardo just ahead. He's trying to make the tyres last again, once again trying to do a 2-stopper rather than a 3-stopper, and to try and gain as much track position as possible, because the Red Bull obviously is not as quick around a fast circuit such as Bahrain. As you can see, Ricciardo goes into the pits now. We've now regained the lead on lap number 10. We're about 7 seconds ahead of Sebastian Vettel though, which is quite a big margin, I'd say, for the moment. Anyways, a bit further later on in the race, Hamilton does manage to get a run on Vettel. He goes up the inside into the final corner, and he takes second place back. So the Mercedes is once again the major threat. And actually, this happened whilst we were coming into the pits for our second pit stop of the day. As you can see, that's Vettel and Hamilton just behind as we come into the pits. Hamilton and Vettel stay out for one more lap though, and we're going to come in alongside. I think Raikkonen's also in as well. I think we're pretty much in parallel when it comes to these strategies, so there shouldn't be any problems here. We've got no traffic behind us. Nope, and hopefully we should rejoin in some clear air this time, considering how much quicker we are compared with some of the more midfield runners such as the Red Bulls, the Toro Rossos, and the Force India, and maybe the Salvos as well. We've come out of the bit. We've rejoined just ahead of Ricciardo, who was ahead of us at the end of the first round of stops, but prior to his first pit stop. But we're able to jump the Red Bull there. That's incredibly crucial if he wants to. If he's trying to go for a 2-stopper here. As you can see, he leaves us room on the inside there to give us and maintains the room to make sure there wasn't any collision between us as we came out the pits. We come on to the end of lap 14. Vettel and Hamilton are once again in the pits. As you can see, they're just coming out of the pits this time, and we're back into the lead of the race. Hamilton has maintained position, but Hamilton is behind the Red Bull, so he's going to have to waste a bit of time trying to overtake Ricciardo. As you can see here, we've come to the end of this particular lap, and he's up the inside of the Red Bull prior to the final corner. So that just shows how much power the Mercedes has. We come on to lap 17. We completely mess up that corner, and Hamilton is right up on our arse. As you can see there, Hamilton's going up the inside as we come up towards turn 11. This is very similar to a move that Raikkonen tried a bit earlier on in the race. It looks like Hamilton might be able to steal the lead from us as we come up towards the corner, but as you can see there, we've made a little bit of contact though as we come on the exit of the corner. Hamilton seems to slow down a lot more than what I would expect him to on the inside of the corner. I don't know whether that's just the AI being how the AI is programmed there, but I think it's partly my fault, partly his fault there. He didn't really he braked a bit too much, I think, and that's cost him several positions. He's back behind the Red Bull and also behind the Ferrari as well as his teammate, which is not a good look. And that's Williams also making his way past Hamilton. So I think he's all the way down in either 6th or 7th place now. But meanwhile, that incident hasn't profited us completely, as Vettel's now going to try and go up the inside, around the outside into turn number 1, as we see there. But he gets hung out to dry, and Raikkonen's able to take advantage of Vettel going wide into turn 1. As you can see, he's in front for the moment, but then we managed to outbrake him into the corner and have the inside line, and Raikkonen's able to sneak through up the inside and take second place. And now Raikkonen is once again wanting to take the lead back. As you can see, he's going to try and do a similar move to what he did earlier on in the race. We hold it round the outside. We just about leave enough room, but Raikkonen is able to make the move stick, and we actually made a little bit of contact there, but we managed to both stay on the track this time compared to what we did with Hamilton. But anyways, we're going to try and stick with Raikkonen as we come on to the start-finish straight, as we have DRS for the first time in a long time, and it looks like we're going to make good use of that and go up the inside of the Ferrari prior to turn number 1, and we've managed to retake the lead back, and very cleanly as well, which is also a bonus. As we come on to the next lap, lap 20, as you can see just behind us, the Ferraris are having a little ding-dong battle themselves. Vettel looking to take second place back from his teammate, going up the inside into turn number 1, and this battle actually continued throughout the whole, pretty much half the lap. They were trying to, I think, replicate what happened in 2014 between the two Mercedes when they were having a massive ding-dong battle throughout the race and throughout the areas of parts of the track. As you can see, they're still side by side as we head into turn 9 and 10, but fortunately Raikkonen has to concede on the inside and loses quite a bit of time, and therefore Vettel's able to take second place. And actually that makes our decision when it comes to coming into the pits a little bit easier, because I decided whoever was the lead Ferrari, I'd pit in at the same time as him, but because Vettel got in front of Raikkonen, I'm going to stay out one extra lap, try and ensure that Vettel has no chance of an overcut opportunity on us. Let's go into the pits right now. Vettel is right behind us. Let's hope we can maintain position once again, and let's hope the pit crew can do another good job.
Go, exit now. We're racing on the exit.
So it looks like once again Force India have done their bit, and we're now, looks like we're going to be holding the lead for the rest of the race unless anything silly happens or Vettel is able to mount a serious charge on the prime tyres now. As you can see, we've moved on to the prime tyres for the final stint of the race with 7 or so laps remaining. We cut to the end of lap number 23. As you can see, it's myself in first, Vettel in second, Raikkonen in third, but also the Mercedes of Nico Rosberg looking to join the party. As we cut to his point of view as we start the lap, Raikkonen's trying to go up the inside of his teammate to try and take second place back. But Rosberg's just hanging back a little bit, and then he takes advantage of Raikkonen getting held up by his teammate whilst trying to overtake him. He goes up the inside into turn 4. Let's see if he can make the move stick. There's a bit of contact between the Mercedes and Ferrari. It looks like he's trying to get a bit of revenge to what happened between the two of these guys in real life at the Bahrain Grand Prix, where Raikkonen was able to manage to overtake Rosberg at the end of the race. As you can see there, Rosberg was able to pass Raikkonen for third place. It was a pretty poor race for Rosberg because he was stuck behind the Williams quite early on at the start of the race, considering his qualifying position. As you can see here, back on my point of view, we just go up the inside of the Sauber of Ericsson. He didn't make it that easy for us, but at the same time, it could have been a lot worse a position that he could have let us through. As we come on to the final lap there, we're coming through turn 9 and turn 10 for the last time. And Vettel has closed the gap on us once again. As you can see, he's trying to push us all the way to the final corner and also to the final lap. As we come to the final straight before the final corner, braking now, Vettel is right behind us as we come into the final corner. Understeer wire off the circuit a little bit, but I think we might get away with it because of the start-finish straight being relatively soon on the main straight. As you can see, we've managed to take our second win of the year.
Second race win in a row. Fantastic job.
What a performance from Force India today. They have secured the race win in some style. That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye and see you again next time.
So confirmation of the results from the Bahrain Grand Prix. We take our second win of the year in first, Vettel in second, Rosberg in third place, Raikkonen in fourth. Hamilton managed to recover to fifth despite the incident that we had with him. Ahead of Valtteri Bottas in sixth. Ricciardo used a two-stop strategy to get up to 7th after starting from 10th. Massa was in 8th for Williams. Kvyat once again managing to score points despite failing to make Q2 once again. He finishes in 9th, with Romain Grosjean taking the final points for Lotus in 10th place. We scroll down a bit further down the standings. Hulkenberg unfortunately retired, our teammate, so unfortunately no double point score once again for us. Let's hopefully get that in the future though. Anyways, we cut to the Drivers' Championship. As you can see, we've actually taken the lead off Nico Rosberg. We're up on 83 points, 6 points clear of Rosberg in second, with Hamilton 23 points back from us. And as you can see a bit further down, Bottas managing to get into 7th place ahead of Massa and Kvyat. And as we cut to the Constructors' Championship, there's no real change in actual position, but I think we managed to gain a little bit on Mercedes, but Ferrari I think gained on us because they got 30 points relative to our 25 today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's race. I really enjoyed it myself. It's one of my favourite circuits on the calendar. If you guys did enjoy it, please like, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next episode, which will be the first race of the European season taking place at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona, Spain. Until then, see you later.